Hello, grade 3 students. I hope you're fine. Today we're going to talk about very nice lesson in our booklet in grade 3 ESS in ancient Egypt, which is the mummies. To make a journey to heaven, Egyptians believed they needed the bodies. To make the journey to heaven means to the paradise. Egyptians believed they needed their bodies. If their bodies went rotten, and rotten means spoiled, they could not get to heaven. So if the body was rotten, the ancient Egyptian person that has this body could not get to heaven. By the year 2600 BC, ancient Egyptians had found a way to preserve the bodies. And preserve means keeps it away, okay, keeps the body away from rotting. Bodies had to be preserved, kept. For 2000 years, Egyptians tried to find a way to stop the dead bodies rotting or spoiling. That process was called mummification. Mummification was a process to turn the dead body into a mummy. In order to have this process, the mummification, number one, the bodies were taken to the house of the dead. So the house of the dead was the place where embalmers, and embalmers are the people who do this process, who do the mummification for the dead body. They do it in a place called House of the Dead. So the bodies were taken to the House of the Dead. They were mummified by those people called embalmers. They could be priests or ordinary or physicians or ordinary people or doctors. If you look here, this is the dead body, and these are two embalmers. They are doing the mummification process. The natural salt, which is a very famous kind of salt in ancient Egypt, was very important to dry the body up. So as we see here, embalmers are adding the natural salt into the dead body. Why? To dry the dead body up, to dry the body up and to keep it, of course, for a long, long time. The masks of rich people were glided with gold. As you see here, this is the very famous golden mask of the famous young pharaoh Tutankhamun. So the mask of the rich people were glided with gold. After mummification, the body was put into a coffin. And a coffin is some kind of box to put a dead body. And as you think, the coffin was decorated, okay, and glided with gold and maybe jewels, colorful paintings to put the dead body. Here is the mummy of the dead body, and it is put inside the coffin by the two embalmers. This is the coffin. The dead body was wrapped in linen. This white material, you see here, this white material is some kind of cloth that embalmers wrap. Wrap means to cover the dead body in all sides, okay, up and down, right and left. They cover it completely with linen. Here is the linen. The head of the body was covered with a mask, and this is too another kind or another a golden mask for the golden pharaoh Tutankhamun. So the head of the body was covered with a mask. Why? To show what the person looked like when he was alive. So that golden mask or any kind of mask in ancient Egypt was put on the head of the body. Why? To show what person looked like when he was alive, as if it's a picture, so the soul would come back to know its own body again. The Egyptians believed that pictures would come alive again. So whenever ancient Egyptians drew the pictures onto the walls of tombs or on the coffin, they thought that the picture would come again alive. Then the dead body would do all things he liked doing when he was alive. So if he was a king, he will be back as a king. If he was a farmer, he will be a farmer again. If he was a doctor, an engineer, a teacher, he will do all things he liked doing when he was alive. But before the ghost of the person could start the journey to heaven, the word ghost here means the spirit or the soul, okay? Ancient Egyptians called it a ghost. So before the ghost of the dead body could start the journey to heaven, as we studied in the previous lesson of Journey to Heaven, the priest, and what was the priest? We have studied it in the first term. It's the religious man of ancient Egypt. He used to work in the temple to say the prayers and hymns, to be responsible to look after the temple, as we knew before in first term. That man, the priest, had to perform, to act a ceremony. The word ceremony means some kind of celebration. It's like a party. This celebration or ceremony was called opening the mouth. Opening the mouth. The priest touched mouth, ears, nose, and eyes, saying a very famous statement. The priest touched mouth, ears, nose, and eyes, saying, "You will live again. You will live again forever. You will live again. You will live again forever." If you look at this picture here, it shows us the ceremony of opening the mouth. Here are the priests. This is the main one, okay, the one who's wearing the tiger skin. It's the main priest, okay? He's holding some kind of stick, and the other priests are holding some kind of stick. And as we said, he is using it to point to the dead bodies, eyes, nose, ears, and mouth, saying, "You shall live again. You shall live again forever." When they opened the mouth, ancient Egyptians believed that the ghost or the spirit, the soul, would come back to the dead body through mouth. Rich people's tombs were covered in painting. Of course, you know that ancient Egyptians used to make or to draw lots of drawings onto the walls of the tombs, as you can see here. Okay, these are all drawings on the walls of the tomb. So why did the ancient Egyptians do that? Because they thought that these paintings were supposed to be magic. Magic, like it could help the dead body to come back to life, or it could help him or guide him to his journey to the heaven, to the afterlife. Some bodies were found preserved because Egyptians buried them in the hot, dry desert. And this was another way other than mummification process. We found some dead bodies. They were buried in the hot, dry sand. They were so dry, okay, it kept the body complete as it is, but it was too dry because the hot, dry sand in ancient Egyptian deserts or in the Egyptian desert kept the body dry. So this was another way different from the process of mummification. So that was all for today. Thank you very much for following me. Please answer the Mummies worksheet into your booklet. Model answers will be uploaded soon. Stay safe. Thank you so much. Goodbye.